NHL took teams with little past history and turned them into the most condensed division rivals the league had ever seen. The Stars and Blue Jackets met 8 times over a 10-week span, with each team landing their punches and games sometimes coming down to the night's final shot. It was a change for both clubs, but one that linked them together as part of an unforgettable year. This year, it's back to a cross-conference rivalry. And tonight, the two teams will meet for the first time since sharing the title of division foes. 4 times the Stars took the ice at Nationwide Arena last season, but tonight, as we welcome you to Dallas Stars hockey presented by Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant, it's the one and only appearance they'll make here this year. Joe Pavelski led the way with 6 goals and 11 points against the Jackets last season, while Patrick Laine, a longtime thorn in the Stars' side, suits up in his 2nd year in Columbus. Hi there, everybody, and welcome to Dallas Stars Hockey. We are back somewhere other than American Airlines Center in Dallas. Alongside Darryl Ray, I'm Josh Bogorod. Razor, we're 5 games into this 82-game season. Where do you see the Stars right now?
How about a little Triple H? You know, Holtby, Heiskanen, and help. Braden Holtby and his goaltending has made this sputtering offense for the Dallas Stars almost irrelevant. He's been that good in his start so far for the Stars. Big stops, key junctures of games to hold them in, keep the score where it's at. His masterful rebound control has been a big part of it, allowing them to reset over and over again. As far as Miro Heiskanen is concerned, he leads the team in scoring as a defenseman, and has been their best player game after game after game. I think we're witnessing the infancy of a Norris caliber season. As far as the help, that's John Klingberg. Finally, they get some help on the injury front. John was injured in the first period of the very first game at Madison Square Garden, splat in behind the Stars net. The team's transition game and their easy egress out of their own zone has suffered without him in the lineup. So he returns, helps that part of their game, helps their top 4 defending, and helps their power play, hopefully. And I think they would like to ease the load on those first 2 guys, both Holtby and Heiskanen as well.
Well, they will take aim on the Columbus Blue Jackets team that they saw an awful lot of last year. 8 combined meetings over that condensed schedule, but this is the first one, Razor, against the new-look Blue Jackets.
Yeah, and they're not rebooting or retooling. They're rebuilding here in the Buckeye State now, and they're going to do so around their very talented 24-year-old defenseman, Zach Werenski. Management made sure of it in the summer, signed him to a massive 6-year deal to keep him here in Columbus. He'll shoulder a large load as they assemble around him, and he'll continue to terrorize opposing netminders. One of the best shots in the National Hockey League, especially on the power play. He plays up top, uses that wrister, and he will be one to watch as this thing moves through tonight.
Last year, overtime was a puzzle the Stars just could not solve. This season, it's a much different story. We take a look at games that go past 60 minutes in the spotlight next. Now for our Shiner Box Spotlight.
Both the Stars and Blue Jackets have gone from last season's sudden death overtime experience to sudden victory this year. Stars are 3-0 thanks to Heiskanen's winner in New York, Radulov's shootout winner in Pittsburgh, and Gurianov's bareback backhand at the home opener. Columbus is 2-0, and sniper Patrick Laine has provided both the give and go with Werenski to dispatch the expansion Kraken. Same spot to end the game against the Islanders.
The Stars have back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Tonight, they'll try to make it 3 in a row. Opening face-off from Columbus is coming up next.
Expansion now open. Stakes raised. Baylor Scott and White Health, changing healthcare for the better. Frontier Fiber Optic, ranked in the top 5 fastest fiber internet in America. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new $5.99 Cluck Sandwich combos, only at Jack in the Box.
Please.
Braden Holtby has held the Stars forward amongst goalies with at least 4 games played. He's tied for the best goals against average and save percentage Elvis Merzlikins at the other end is 3-0 and yet to allow more than 2 goals in a game.
Lines changed up once again for Rick Bowness as he continues to search for a little more offense. Tyler Seguin wins the opening draw. Puck is dropped. We're underway from Nationwide Arena. It's Seguin out there with Michael Raffl and Radek Faksa to begin, and Seguin comes free across the line, and a shot kicked out by Merzlikins.
What a terrific up by Miro Heiskanen to spring him, and Tyler stayed on side to get that bullet shot.
That duo combined for 5 points in the overtime win on Friday in the home opener. 3 for Miro, a goal and an assist for Seguin. A game that could very well jumpstart his campaign as it's dumped in by Columbus. Heiskanen slows up, allows Nyquist to skate right by. He will start it forward. Mr. Do Everything through 5 games for Dallas feeds Peterson. He'll chip it in deep. Jamie Benn going after it. Second game that he's starting at the center position. He's got a couple of different line mates from Friday, however. It's Peterson and Radulov who start here. Shot by Dean Kukin. That one was up high, catches glass, and bounces back out to center ice. Kukin with it. Ahead for Jake Voracek. Second tour of duty here in Columbus after the offseason trade from Philly. Jenner with a shot up high. Bounces to the circle. Radulov a handoff for Ben. And then taken away by Voracek. The top line for the Jackets. They'll dump and change.
And they came out shooting. Caught nothing but glass on their 2 opportunities, but liberal.
Here comes Gurionov. Slices his way in. A backhand. He was looking for a repeat.
Identical.
Of the overtime winner. Merzlikins stops this one. First whistle, $1:38 in. Let's go downstairs. Check in with Michelle McMahon.
Well, guys, Rick Bowness began his NHL voyage as a player in 1975, then as a coach in 1983. Tonight he etches yet another milestone, coaching in his 100th NHL game for the Dallas Stars. When I asked him what keeps him going, he said, "I love coming to the rink still, and it's a role never to be taken for granted." He approaches this role with such humility, guys.
And does he ever? We asked him about the ovation he got on Friday, and he said it's a reflection of the team. He didn't want the personal accolades, just a guy who does what he does because he loves what he does.
That's Bones.
Andrew Peeke, defenseman for the Blue Jackets. He'll move it rink wide. Gabriel Carlsson making his season debut for Columbus, and now Gregory Hoffman dances his way across the blue line. Hope he'll keep the puck moving quickly, and it's settled by Rope Hintz. Hits the red line, chips it in. One hopper off the end boards. Race for the puck is retrieved by Columbus. Hoffman rink wide. Jake Bean, one of the newcomers to the Blue Jackets, came over in the offseason trade from Carolina. It's a second-round pick that went the other way. Second-round pick that was part of the Seth Jones deal. There's a lot of domino effect from that.
Yeah, they're loading up on picks around here.
As you mentioned, it is definitely a rebuild. They're off to a good start, though. Columbus 3-2 to open up the season. They got a little bit of a dose of humble pie in their last outing, 5-1, courtesy of a very good Carolina team.
And some of the same issues that the Stars have had so far, scoring in this scenario 5-on-5. It has not come easily since game number 1. When offense flowed for them, and they destroyed Arizona.
Did they ever? 8 goals in that game, only 7 in 4 combined games since. Stars go to work on the attack. It's Raffl. His pass is picked off. Here's Alexander Texier the other way. Texier bumped down the lineup for Columbus as they continue to search for some scoring, as you mentioned. So line changes on both sides entering this game. Ryan Suter to Klingberg. Really our first look at that duo together as Klingberg was injured 3.5 minutes into opening night. Stars have to touch up. They were way offside, and
Suter was forechecking. He had a long way to get back on side.
You don't see defensemen let the puck go in the offensive trapezoid to avoid offside very often, but we just did.
I like that, though, when defensemen chip a puck in, follow it up, put some pressure on the puck, rather than just dump it in, watch. Turns into a turnover and you're chasing back to your own zone again.
Columbus across the line. Gustav Nyquist. He missed all of last season after surgery in November of 2020. He's back with the Blue Jackets. Now Lindell got it to the line, pawed by Peeke to keep in. Good hustle by Hintz, negates an icing and pokes it away from the netminder as Merzlikins had drifted to the edge of the trapezoid.
The goalie actually made a pretty good play. You can't go handle it over in the corner, and he had to protect it, took the stick a little bit, was waiting on that puck.
Gurianov is in, left circle, fed to the slot, and fanning was Hintz.
I think Voracek was right on him there.
It's a couple rushes for Gurianov where he showcased that speed. Lindell's bit is gloved, Merzlikins holds.
Well, there's a lot of speed for the Blue Jackets to worry about on that line. You have Gurianov move to the left wing side, and he can gallop, and then you have Rope Hintz in the middle. Little pass in the slot area. I think the Stars would like any overpass to be flushed out of their system a little bit. Follow up, shots on net, get another chance. It was a good defensive play by the veteran Voracek to break it up.
It's exactly what Rick Bowness was talking about before the game. When you look at the shots on goal, you look at the lack of offensive production. He just simply said passing up too many opportunities, quite literally, trying to make that extra play. Glendening will bump it back. Sekera up ahead for Tanner Kero. This line is Glendening, Kiviranta, and Kero. An outlet feed, Sean Corrali signed a 4-year deal with Columbus from Boston in the offseason.
This line should be your sort of traditional depth fourth line that plays with a lot of pace, nasty to go against if you're the other team. Try to play a territorial game, play a lot of hockey on their side of center ice.
Nearly a giveaway to Raffle. He was on the wrong side of the blue line. The Stars in retreat with possession.
Well, he's been a flow start to this one, hasn't it?
Yeah, very fast pace, not a lot of whistles. Just 3 shots on goal. They all belong to the Stars. Here comes Roslovic to Bjorkstrand, and he scores! The first shot for the Columbus Blue Jackets turns into the first goal of the game. Oliver Bjorkstrand stays red hot.
Yeah, he's their leading scorer. The Stars turn it over on their way into the zone, and from that, great transition by 2 guys that can fly. Bjorkstrand, and we've seen a lot of Roslovic in his tenure with the Columbus Blue Jackets. This one just absolutely froze Braden Holtby as he ripped it short side under the glove. Stars were scrambling to get back defensively. I mean, that's as cliche as hockey gets. Turnover at the offensive blue line, goal at the other end.
3rd goal and 8th point of the season for Oliver Bjorkstrand, who led Columbus in goals, assists, and points last year. And set up by Roslovic, who's very excited anytime Dallas is on the schedule. He was tremendous point-per-game player against the Stars last year. At center ice, it's Radulov. Dumps it all the way down. And then Gavrikov turned over. It's banned in front. Off the bar goes Heiskanen. A chance for an immediate response for Dallas, and only iron denied. Heiskanen's his 3rd.
What a pretty setup. Just prior to that, Gavrikov made a tremendous play at the Stars blue line, or Dallas might have been 2-on-0 going the other direction. And we're a long way away from Elvis here, and you could hear that. No problem. Heiskanen pasted that pipe.
Icing here against the Blue Jackets.
But Jamie Benn back at center ice, and he ends up with the puck a lot more playing that position than he does playing wing, and Heiskanen is just on his toes offensively in the early season. Great forechecking work by Peterson. The follow-up, the setup, had the netminder beat clean, but ka-ting.
It's lifted high out to center. Klingberg is on it there. Turned over. Roslovic is in. Follow-up Hoffman. He got the secondary assist on the recent goal for Bjorkstrand. Roslovic, sharp angle shot, put it wide. It'll rim back out to center. Carlson drives it in from the red line. Now Suter over to Klingberg and trickles its way out to neutral ice. Peak is on it. Over to Bjorkstrand. Lifted ahead, Roslovic in across the line. And then stolen back by the Stars. Hakanpää got tripped up, and the first penalty of the game is going to go against Columbus. Stars had a big power play night last time out. They'll look to get started here. But the man who starts the scoring is Oliver Bjorkstrand of Columbus. 1-0 Jackets.
Matchup power forwards with power play production, past and present. Jamie Benn was second in the NHL with 17 power play goals that division title year, 15-16, and Boone Jenner leads or co-leads the National Hockey League with 3 power play goals so far this year.
After starting the season 1 for 10, Dallas went 2 for 4 on the power play on Friday. They will go up against the Columbus penalty kill that got riddled on home ice. 3 for 6 at the hands of Carolina last time out. Dumped in by the Stars. Gurionov is on it. Tried to squeak it short side. Saved by Merzlikins.
That was a nice stutter step delay by Dennis there, and he almost had Merzlikins all folded up and some air between the goalpost and his body on the short side.
Miro Heiskanen will come across the line. Stick handle to the slot. Weave with possession, and then never quite could get free. It's Boone Jenner showing his diversity on special teams here. Terrific penalty killing, and it's all the way down.
Just sometimes when you're too slow on your way up, that happens. It feeds the 2 forwards who are penalty killing because they're going to be aggressive. Nowadays, they're aggressive in all 3 zones.
Outlet feed for Hintz. Across the line, got through Peterson, quickly cleared, and over halfway through this Dallas power play.
And John Klingberg returns to the Stars power play, and he's one of the bets at getting them into the zone clean.
He'll get his first opportunity here across the red line. Feed to the left. Hintz catches up down low, rims it around to the right side wall for Pavelski. Now Peterson up top for Klingberg at the line. Fed to Hintz, left circle, wrist shot. He was looking for a tip, never got one. Peterson keeps it moving to Klingberg, right point. That shot redirected off the post and stayed out. It bounced behind Merzlikins through the crease and stayed out. Second bar. Stars hold it in. Peterson's shot blocked off the netting and out of play.
Klingberg's so good at getting that shot through. Prior to all of that, though, it was the perfect Archimedes dump in off the end boards, and Gurionov trying to lose Merzlikins. The latest one, Klingberg just dances toward the middle, finds a lane. I think it was a double deflection. Stick and then maybe a leg and then a post on the glove hand side of Elvis.
Ben Sagan, Gurionov, Lindell, and Heiskanen, the 5-men out there. Only 16 left on the power play, but the Stars control off the draw. Quickly worked and a shot, Gurionov, and that rattled out. Heiskanen to the right wing side. Go down low. Good movement by the Stars. They can't connect in the slot, though. And Columbus gets through it. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Heiskanen off the high glass, catches up himself. Peak, right place, right time, intercepts. So Dallas is 0 for 1 on the power play. They came close. Remains 1-0 Blue Jackets. Just about half a period gone by from Nationwide Arena here in Columbus. Bean cancels out with Sagan. And Kukin ahead for Cole Sillinger, 18-year-old, was the 12th overall pick in the summer's draft. It just got away from him in the slot. Son of longtime NHLer Mike Sillinger.
Yeah, they both essentially went 11th overall, although this Sillinger, the younger, the son, went 12th, but there was no 11th pick.
The forfeited pick, just enough to give Dad bragging rights, I guess.
Oh, yeah. You see whether the son stays in one spot more than Dad did.
It was a 2-year stop for Mike here in Columbus. That's why Cole's birthplace is here in Columbus. Puck up out of play, 9.5 to go in the first. It is a 1-0 Blue Jackets lead over the Stars.
League averaging just 28 shots per game. The guys referenced it at the top of the broadcast. Rick Bowness lit these guys up about this on Sunday at practice. He stopped practice and demanded laps after he colorfully explained why their current shot quality was unacceptable to him. Josh, he said it at the top of the broadcast. They pass up way too many opportunities and really miss too much. Ryan Suter said the good news is we're still finding ways to win games.
And they've got 4 of the 5 shots here tonight, but the only one that they've faced is the only goal so far off the stick of Oliver Bjorkstrand. Dallas also hit a couple of posts, so they put the pucks towards the net. Look for the equalizer as it's center ice. Lindell tosses it in. It's cut off by Merzlikins, around but not out. Heiskanen at the point, slides it to Lindell. Looking for a window, didn't find one. Drags it back to the left point, and then funnels low. Raffl, one touched, intended for Faksa. Good defense by Columbus, and they exit. Jake Bean tosses one in. Roslovic pickpocketed by Heiskanen, who then put it off the body of Bjorkstrand. Heiskanen in the corner, protecting from 3 poke check efforts from Bjorkstrand. Now Roslovic comes to staple it against the baseboards. Fought for in close proximity. The Stars inch it up the wall. Now Heiskanen's got some space. Over to Lindell. Jackets pull off for a change. Stars doing the same. Lindell shoots in from the red line. It horseshoes to the far side. Touched by Werenski out to center. Rope Hintz will walk it back in. Feed to Gurianov, and a shot off target from in tight. From the wall, chance from Klingberg. Now Suter near side, blocked just outside the crease. Andrew Peeke can clear.
Well, the Stars are proving they're coachable here in the first period. Every time somebody gets a puck, they've ripped it.
Patrick Laine does there, and Holtby with the glove.
Well, the good scoring chances for the Stars in the opening period have been audible. They've hit the pipe thrice in behind Elvis. What a chance for Miro Heiskanen immediately after they gave up the go-ahead goal on the power play. Radulov, I think the guy who's listened to, shoot the puck more is that guy, Denis Gurianov. He made one pass. I'm sure he heard about it when he got back to the bench early on when he tried to feed Hintz in the slot. Ever since, he's had eyes for the Blue Jackets net.
Jamie Benn set to take the draw against Boone Jenner. It's captain on captain, or it was going to be before Ben gets kicked out. Peterson steps in. Jenner is the new captain here in Columbus. It was announced just before the start of the season. So much turnover. We talked about the rebuild. Some familiar faces just not here anymore. Suter, left point, shot kicked out. Laine will softly nudge it to neutral ice. Stars are on it. Suter for Klingberg in front of the penalty boxes. Then claimed by Laine. Radulov nearly took it away. Poked by Suter. Sprawling out to negate it was Peterson. Puck still bouncing between the blue lines. Kukin hits Peterson. And eventually tossed in deep by the Stars.
Yeah, Jacob Peterson has that extra effort in his game. It's just that one extra effort. A lot of guys, the play will just fizzle after the first battle. He stays in the battle.
And as part of what has endeared him to Rick Bowness in his NHL debut, stapled against the corner glass was Sekera. Now out to center, Peeke. Across the blue line, dragged in by Raffl. Back to the line. Shot by Hakanpää. Goes to the corner. Corrali is on it. Rink wide feed. Here's Carlson. Carlson down the right side will toss it in deep. Hakanpää is there. Off the body of Corrali. Now it's Texier. Trying to shrug off Hakanpää. Right back, and a shot by Corrali. Redirected in on Holtby, who had to be alert.
We can see what the Blue Jackets are going to try to feast on, and the Stars could not get up the boards and out of their own zone, turned it over, and it turned into a quality scoring chance for Columbus.
6 and counting left in this first period. 1-0 Columbus. Stars being hounded in their own zone. Nearly turned it over. Heiskanen was there for support.
They haven't spent a lot of time in behind their own blue line. When they have been in there, the Blue Jackets have a lot of hustle and kibble in their game to get on them. Make them earn it.
Touched by Sillinger, out for Nyquist. Takes a look behind him at pursuers, so he'll toss it in. Holtby peels it off the end boards. And out to center, bouncing puck. Trying to catch up was Hintz, he could not. So Nyquist goes the other direction.
It's 3 times in a row trying to exit out of their own zone and over center ice that they've been turned back.
At the line, held by Gavrikov. His stick broke in half on the shot. And a penalty coming up at the Stars line. Jockeying for position, Joel Kiviranta. He heads to the box. Jackets head to the power play. They've got a 1-0 lead here in Cbus.
Down one, Joel Kiviranta loaded up their #1 power play unit, led by that man, Patrik Laine. The one thing the Stars would like to do against this power play is keep them on one side of the ice, but they have everything you'd want on a power play. Bjorkstrand in the middle, Voracek on one wing, Laine on the other, Werenski at the point, and then Big Jenner in front of the net,
who has 3 of their 5 power play goals this season. Here's Werenski across the blue line. Werenski's down low behind the cage. Feeds it up top for Laine. Laine drags it with him. Hand off to the left wing circle. Jackets space out. Werenski faked a one-timer. Goes across Laine. His one-timer. Stick broke. Creates a lot of turmoil in front of Holtby on the slow-moving puck. And then forced out to center ice.
Boy, that's the rebound producing shot. Maybe not as much on it as usual because of the broken stick, but you can see the havoc it creates right in front of the opposing net.
Bjorkstrand the give and go. Nice poke to himself by Hintz. Faksa crossing the blue line shorthanded. He'll turn to his forehand, then to his backhand. Terrific penalty killing work here by Radek Faksa, and he'll go all the way back to Suter.
He's had a grand start to his season in every area of his game. Has a power play goal, terrific penalty killer. He's been fantastic night in and night out on that line, and along with Michael Raffl.
That's more than a half a minute that the Stars just killed off thanks to some terrific plays. Back inside the Dallas zone. 23 seconds left on the power play. It's Chinakhov moving it across. Jake Bean, different unit out there for Columbus. Chinakhov, right circle, wrist shot saved by Holtby and then batted out of midair by Benn to center.
I don't know why Chinakhov didn't just hammer that. He's got a bullet shot and he was wide open. The Stars were not in that shooting lane.
Here's Roslovic behind the net. Feed it to the left wing side. Kiviranta is free. Shot blocked by Raffl just after the power play expired. So both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Raffl brings it in. 5-on-5, and in front Glendening just muscled his way to get something on that, but it was wide. Seguin to Klingberg, and now here's Heiskanen. He'll dart down the left side. He gets closed off nicely by Kukin. Corrali almost ran into his own guy. Kukin gives a glance, rims it around. Robinson wasn't expecting it on that side. The Stars take over. Heiskanen to Klingberg. Gets the legs moving through center. Just his second game of the season, first since opening night. Heiskanen had to toss it in as Klingberg was in deep.
It's an aggressive 5 to come out of your penalty kill with. You have Gurionov, Hintz, and Seguin up front with Heiskanen and Klingberg on the back end. They couldn't get anything out of it, though.
Hakanpää pushes forward for Benn. Benn staying with it at center. He'll flip in. Radulov touches up, so Benn turns into the first forechecker. Werenski moves it to the left. Bean, rink wide. Jenner tried to slip a pass, turned it over to Peterson. Stars are back in. Jacob Peterson in front. He was trying to find a cutting Pavelski, who was tied up. And now Laine the other direction into Dallas territory. Laine to the slot, shot wide, big rebound. Right back into the slot, and the Stars hopped on it. Pavelski a chip and a chase. First on the scene. He's rubbed out by Gavrikov. And now Patrik Laine. Stars were able to keep him in check in Columbus last year. Just 1 goal in 8 games.
I think Patrik Laine would agree that he kept Patrik Laine in check as much as the opposition last year. He was very self-critical in the offseason.
He's looking for a big bounce back year. He scored a couple of overtime goals early in this one, in this season. Here's Voracek to Laine. Final minute of the opening period. And now Laine. Chip to himself. And for Roslovic. Back to Laine. Nice move around Suter, but there was a second man. He couldn't.
He looks like a different player here in the opening period than what we witnessed a year ago. He has been syrupy and dangerous.
If there's any team that knows just how dangerous Patrik Laine can be in his NHL history, it is the Stars. Along the end wall, Dallas going to work in the closing seconds of the first. Lindell funneled low for Hintz. Turned off by Bean. Sagan tracks it to the near wall. Not a lot of time left for the Stars. They got to get it to the front of the net. They will, and a shot from Hintz as time expires. And that is how the first period comes to a close.
Well, they dodged that last chance for Laine. Hakanpää had fallen down in neutral ice. It was an odd man rush in. Nice delay, and that rip wrister against the grain didn't miss by much. Full flight, chewing on his mouth guard, ripped it, had Holtby leaving his pipe and missed the net. A good period. I thought Denis Gurianov was fabulous in that opening 20 minutes. They're down by one, but they're on the road and they had their opportunities.
Stars outshoot the Jackets. Also add 3 pipes, but cannot solve Merzlikins. It's 1-0 Columbus on the Oliver Bjorkstrand goal. First intermission report takes over when we come back.
The Stars in Columbus on a quick one-game road trip. They trail the Blue Jackets 1-0 after the first 20 minutes of play. Oliver Bjorkstrand opened scoring on the night 6 minutes into the period. Number of scoring opportunities. Nothing seems to be sticking yet. Sevi, what's your overall assessment on the first period of play?
Well, they did get some opportunities in that first period, which was good. You know, Bonus the other day in practice was a little upset that the boys were passing up on shooting opportunities in practice, and they really tried to do a better job of it in that first period. They hit some posts, but they were making some cross-ice passes, and so I like the way it's looking. It's down just 1-0. It's first time since the very first game in New York this season that our Stars are finally out shooting an opponent in the first period.
He was a little more than upset. He was banging his stick against the wall pretty hard. Oh, yeah, he had a few choice words as well. But overall, when you look at possession metrics, it was actually a pretty good period for the Dallas Stars. I didn't mind that first period. We've seen this story play out before where they have the great period, but they're down 1-0. But we'll see if they can come back from this one. Still 2 to go.
Well, a Stars turnover resulted in that lone Bjorkstrand goal on the night. Brian, walk us through what you saw on that.
Sevy, don't turn the puck over, especially at neutral ice or at the offensive blue line, because bad things happen. And in this case, it was a 2-on-1 transition. And in the case of Oliver Bjorkstrand, he's their leading point getter for a reason. You see so right there.
But look at Roslovic go right through. He slices and dices through the neutral zone, unabated, and then a nifty little pass across. And Bjorkstrand, 18 goals, 26 assists, 44 points last year for this team, led in all those categories. Yeah, you don't want to put the puck on his stick, but it was definitely a gaff in the middle of the neutral zone where the Stars gave the puck away. Quick transition, we see it all the time, leads to the Stars giving up their first goal.
Jonathan Klingberg back on the ice tonight. Sevi, what have you seen from him, especially on the power play?
Yeah, you can see a couple toe picks in that first period, though, right? For him, you know about toe picks, right, Lauren? You and I? We're the only skaters on this squad right here. But yeah, I love the way he handles the puck, right? He's the guy that gets it up ice all the time, and his ability to move the puck one side to the other, you got to enjoy it. So just give him a little bit of time, I think, to get acclimated to this one. He's a high-risk guy, which is always fun to watch. But right at the line again, these quick little passes that you mentioned in the pregame show, Brian. Another one right there.
I thought the power play for the Dallas Stars looked like it had a lot more authority to it than what we've seen this season, and that's where the presence of John Klingberg comes in. I know it got going in the game against L.A., but there's just something that's different when he's on the ice. That puck starts to move in a lot of different directions for the power play. All
right, well, when Jack in the Box intermission report returns, we check out first period numbers and talk Denis Gurianov. Coming up next. Jack Back in the Box intermission report. The Stars trail the Blue Jackets 1-0 after the first 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers so far in the first frame. Stars pretty dominant in the faceoff circle tonight, winning 60% of those draws. But guys, look pretty even across the board. They outshot the Blue Jackets most of the first period, but even things up 7 shots to Blue Jackets 6. But again, pretty even period outside of that Bjorkstrand goal.
Well, Sevy, they also had 3 posts, and then Dennis Gurianov seemed to be buzzing around on the ice for the Dallas Stars in that one. And you were talking about Rick Bowness getting a little fired up at his team for passing up on opportunities and clean shots. Dennis Gurianov was attacking the net repeatedly, but also when you get a look like that, Dennis, don't pass it off. You've got a great shot. Snap that one. Force the goaltender to make a save, but even despite a play like that, Sevy, I thought he was probably the strongest forward for Dallas now.
Yeah, anytime he gets speed through the neutral zone, you're going to notice him, and he has that tonight. They have Rope, Hintz, and Gurianov together, and when you have that kind of speed in the lineup, that's going to push defensemen back. Defense, we're trying to gap up, trying to get as close to them as possible and then get backwards to match their speed. When you have Rope going at you, Gurianov going at you at full speed, it's tough to contain, and we're seeing that so far this evening.
All right, Sevy, final thoughts as we head into the second period.
Again, the Stars have to find a way to turn the game around and kind of take control of it. This is a team that they should dominate and at least take advantage of the second period, go into the third period and really kind of up the pace. So like I said, I'm looking for more pace from everybody up and down the lineup. That'll be what I'll be watching. In terms of the Stars, if they can get their power play chance, I loved the way their first power play looked. I really did. It was the different ways they were setting things up. You've got a second one-timer you can use. Gurianov had a one-time look from the bumper roll in the slot there. If they can get themselves back on the power play, once again, the presence of John Klingberg, immediately there was an upgrade to their power play unit and the opportunities they had. I really do like the way their first period went. I love the possession metrics. I think that power play is waiting to score a goal in this game. Yeah, it's going to be the same thing, right? Close game. You're going to need some good goaltending, and maybe a little specialty teams goal will help as well.
All right, guys, 1-0 in Columbus in favor of the Blue Jackets after the first. Second period coming up. We'll catch you right back here in the second intermission.
This is brought to you by Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant. Expansion now open, stakes raised. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
Blue Jackets get the only goal of the opening frame. They have a 1-0 lead as we get set to start the second from Nationwide Arena. Fans can celebrate the spookiest holiday on ice at select Children's Health Star Centers around DFW. Wear your costume to our Halloween-themed public skates this weekend and win prizes. Go to DallasStars.com/public skating for more info. And we welcome you back here as we get set for the middle frame. At the end of the first, Razor, you said Dennis Gurianov was the Stars' best forward. What impressed you about his game so far?
Yeah, sometimes players, especially young players, just need a goal, something positive to happen for them, and then they can take off. Well, that happened in overtime against LA at home for Gurianov. Crowd went nuts. His chest puffs out. In the opening period, he drove the net, identical chance on Merzlikins in the early going, but he was looking to score. He was on his toes offensively, not looking for other options, and that's when Dennis is at his best. His feet get him to scoring areas, and then when he gets there, he knows what to do.
Second period begins as the teams switch directions. Dallas inside their own zone. It's knocked to the sidewall and collected by the Stars. Fox had got it to center, chases after it, gives Nyquist a little bit of a shove. Werenski pressured behind the net. Out to center ice, it is Suter. Over to Gurianov, who doubles back and tried a stretch pass. Caught a deflection, still connected. And then one-handed by Gurianov to the near side. He comes together in a battle of 34s with Sillinger. Jackets on the attack. Patrick Laine moves it rink wide. Shot deflected around to Gavrikov. Out of the reach of Jenner. Hintz throws a heavy check with the puck en route. He got the best of Kukin, but then both men wind up going down. Voracek is on it behind the cage. Centering feed. It was closed off nicely. He was pressured by Pavelski, who scurries to the near side. bumps it ahead for Gurionov in the Stars exit. Softly played in by Klingberg. Wholesale change for Dallas. Kukin goes to Gavrikov. Cut off by Ben. Wants to walk back in. Gavrikov stripped it at the blue line. The other way, Voracek. Across the line. Slipped to Jenner. And then Hakanpää got to it in the corner. Right back to Jenner off his stick. Voracek supporting. To the line, Peak. Left wing side, Karlsson. Karlsson angles it to Laine. He's got help at the blue line if he wants to go there. Instead, moves it low to Voracek. His pass was out of the reach of Peak, and it'll bring it all the way back.
Boy, he had pulled Jani Hakanpää way out near the blue line as they got their cycle going, and then they messed it up themselves. It's been a little unfettered down there at times.
Roslovic offside as Hoffman could not stay on the near wing. Let's go downstairs and check in with Michelle McMahon.
Yeah, Josh, just some overall takeaways from the first period from the Stars coaching staff I caught up with. They were relatively pleased with the 20-minute effort. They liked the pace in which this team played with and the power play. Hit the post 3 times, awfully close there. One thing they feel like they're struggling with right now is against the Columbus 1-1-3 neutral zone forecheck, and Razor are going to be shocked. The solution to this, getting pucks in deep.
No way.
Thanks very much, Michelle. Offside this time at the Columbus line.
Get pucks deep, get on the forecheck.
Both.
Cliches just fly. I think Rick Bowness is trying to settle on lines and combos so that the team as a whole can synergize a little bit with their team play. A little too much thinking out on the ice. You need that automatic. It just breeds faster play, overall connectiveness, and hopefully offense.
He said he's tired of the line changing, but you also don't just want to let things lie. How do you walk that fine line between giving things time and then switching it when it's not working?
Yeah, it's a bit of a catch-22. The guy on the other bench, Brad Larson, believes more so in letting them sort it out themselves to a degree. You know, it always goes down that path, and then at some point it's insanity, so you have to change some things up. The John Tortorella era is over here, and Larson has taken over, former assistant AHL head coach, tasked with keeping the Blue Jackets competitive while they restock. And the first 22 minutes of witnessing them live, his team plays an excellent up-tempo team game.
All the way down the ice. Race to the dots, won by Klingberg. We've hit some stop-and-go traffic here early in the second period.
Second periods have been little tricky trip-up periods for the Stars here in the early season. We'll see which direction this one goes here tonight. In past, they've been able to dominate middle frames, outchange teams, spend a lot of time in the attacking zone, wear them down, and run their offense off of it.
Offensive zone draw turns into a quick shot right off of it. Raffle and turned aside Merzlikins. Sagan in the circle, poke checked away. Following up is Chinakhov. We'll move it around to Bean. Now back for Chinakhov. Slipped it to Bean, got through. Werenski held it in. He'll bank it wide of the cage. Raffle couldn't get it past the skates of Chinakhov and Suter. Klingberg, Raffle again. This time different company. Bjorkstrand to center, but Werenski is there. From center ice, he'll flip, give and go. Werenski across the line. On the right dot, shoulders off Suter, cuts to the net. Not much of an angle, and it ramps up and out of play.
Young bull, old bull there, one-on-one with some dangling. Back to that face-off in the Columbus Blue Jackets zone. Off of the draw, there's a pile, and you know the forward's responsibility is to get out on the point, but don't leave the general vicinity. Raffle was able to kind of slip that Blue Jacket forward and rip it on Merzlikins, who made a fine stop.
Here in the second period, Stars have won 4 of the 5 faceoffs before Columbus controls that one. A shot in the slot. Roslovic goes back and a wrister. That one was up high and wide from Bjorkstrand. Gregory Hoffman, right wing corner. Heiskanen pestering. Hoffman protecting with the body to Bjorkstrand. Out to the point. Kukin keeps in on the backhand. Roslovic. Good work here by the Jackets once again. Drop pass for Roslovic. Has an assist on the only goal in the game. Then taken away by Hintz. Does not clear. Rattled back around to the near side, and it hopped past Kukin. So the Jackets in retreat. Kukin outlet feed. Roslovic. And here's Hoffman. Wrist shot. Fought off by Holtby. Ben able to clear it. Carlson delivers it back into the Dallas zone. Ben partially fanned. Now it's the Jackets. A shot. Another heavy wrister that misses by Laine, and that same carom off the backboards. It could be so dangerous. Voracek. There was no room for him to creep from behind the net. And Carlson is met on the wall by Heiskanen. Laine pokes to himself. Keeps it in somehow. To the right side. Now gets it back, and a shot broke the stick of Radulov in half.
Did it ever. Sawed it in half. Patrick Laine is on it tonight. That would worry everybody on the other bench.
That's as clean as a shot can break a stick when it hits it. Radulov getting in the right place as it developed quickly for a dangerous sniper. Sekera ahead for Peterson. He'll tap it in deep. Goaltender Merzlikins had company quickly in the form of Glendening. Stars will try and make something from it. Hakanpää off his stick. Grabbed in the circle. Corrali with the lift. Robinson can fly. He'll get to the loose puck. Not much of an angle. It pinballs off of Sekera in on his own netminder, and Holtby stands his ground.
Texier was driving the net, and Twinkle Heels kept it out. Turnover along the boards by Jamie Benn, who got all fouled up, and immediately Patrick Laine just leans on that stick. That was the second bit that sawed that stick in half. Yeah, those are messy ones that netminders have to be alert on and track all the way into their body. Hope he did.
Jackets win the draw. Werenski top of the zone to Texier. There's room for him. Walks in, and a wrist shot grazed off traffic wide of the net. And the Jackets have to reset as it comes out to center. Here's Klingberg. He'll walk it in. A wrist shot. Gets his own rebound right back to him, and a good sweep from the stick of Merzlikins.
Well, these end boards are bouncy.
Faksa sends it low for Sagan. Overskated the puck. That allows the Jackets all the time they need, but they don't clear. Klingberg kept it at the point.
It was the Corrali turnover in neutral ice that resulted in that opportunity for the Stars. And
now a rush for the Jackets. Robinson bounced it through the low slot, harmlessly wide. In transition, Klingberg will softly play ahead. Grabbed at the line by Robinson. Off of Sillinger, race for the puck. Holtby will take care of it himself. Klingberg is given space, so he uses it. Over to Suter. Hits the red line, wrists one in. Gavrikov nearly turned over. Stars keep it in. Hintz. And a shot from Gurianov was blocked immediately off his stick. Up and off the netting, out of play. Only visit of the year to Nationwide Arena for the Stars. Approaching the midway point of the game. Jackets have the only goal. It's 1-0.
Combined shots on goal. Just one puck has found the back of the net. No surprise. Our Ford leaderboard tonight. Sure, the season is in its infancy, but the top of the save percentage list is sensational. And both Merzlikins and Braden Holtby are up there. .915 is about average. .930 would be end of the season outstanding. These guys are .951 and .946. Save percentage last year was the weakest in over a decade. I think the Pandy and lots of young netminders fed that.
Stars will get to the loose puck on the attack zone. It's Pavelski. He gets pinned off by Corrali to center. Nyquist chips it in. The longtime Red Wing gives chase. And then follow-up support from Chinakhov. Redirection en route, and Holtby had to kick out the pad and make the save. Bouncing puck nearby. It's behind Holtby and scored.
I don't know that this went all the way over the line.
They pulled it right off the line. It's going to be close. For the time being, the Jackets have doubled their lead.
I mean, I have the parallax view from here. which suggests some of that puck was still touching the goal line in behind Holtby. It has to go completely over. If any part of it is touching the goal line, it's not a goal. We're looking at a replay from up above, and I don't think this is a goal. Esa Lindell to the rescue. It was a mess right in front of Holtby. The Stars could never get under sticks. And that puck was oscillating on the line. And I don't know that it ever got completely over the line.
They're on the headset taking a look. They stopped the music as if they were going to make an announcement.
It's quick. I don't know whether that's good or bad.
After review, the goal did not cross the goal line completely. No goal.
No goal. Stars were swatting away at it, and just kind of a bargy play by the kid Sillinger to get in there, in between both Lindell and Miro Heiskanen, and some air in Braden Holtby, and he gets a reprieve because of Esa Lindell. It was clear as day to me from all the way up here. And they saw it, reviewed it in the situation room in Toronto, along with the officials on the ice, and we start anew at 1-0 still.
Mark Jeanette was right there on the goal line, had the best view. He didn't point until the Jackets really started celebrating, and then he pointed pretty quickly, but video evidence suggests otherwise. So we'll go on with a 1-0 score. Close call, but didn't completely cross, and now a penalty coming up here is holding. And the crowd was unhappy with the guys in stripes before, and that's not going to help any matters for the home side.
We were talking about this the other night. It's so great to be back in buildings with tons of fans. I don't know that the guys in stripes agree with us, but just it's part of the fabric. It's that cacophony of sound that you get in these arenas that feeds the sport live and on TV and radio. Another look from up above. You could make an argument that as it was oscillating, the entire puck was over because it was up on edge. But if you look at it above the line like they look at offside now with guys' legs up above, they don't have to be on the ice, then it's no goal.
So the goal, no goal, comes off the board, and then seconds later an offensive zone holding penalty against Jake Voracek. Second power play of the game for Dallas. They have one shot on their man advantage. They turn it over here, though. Peterson fan, and Dallas has to chase back. Rope Hintz, John Klingberg, Jacob Peterson, Joe Pavelski, and Alexander Radulov. This is the loudest this building has been all night long.
It's referee slander right now going on.
Very angry. Here is Klingberg across the line. Chip to the left wing side. Golden opportunity here for the Stars, but Pavelski loses on the wall, and just like that, you're 40 seconds into the power play.
That's two soft plays on the puck to begin this.
Pavelski's back across to Peterson. They'll move it to Pavelski. 13 power play goals last year, and off the stick and right back out to center ice.
Real nice little poke check by Werenski in front. Rope Hintz was right there, and puck never arrived.
Hintz was by the bench. A pass went his way. He was changing. Now Jenner shorthanded, left circle, fed to the right and off the post. Oh, mercy. Texier got all of it. Had a wide open net and hit the iron.
I was going to say he got all of it because he had all the net.
Here's Sagan the other way for Heiskanen in deep. Chance save, rebound save on Radulov. Equal opportunity chances on this Stars power play. Half a minute to go. Ben threaded across. Sagan with the save. A rebound taken by Dallas. They're getting some looks now after not being able to toss it into drive. The new unit is out there.
Man, how good has Elvis Merzlikins been in this game?
And right there on cue, the poke check because the waiting was a dangerous Heiskanen.
Not just dangerous, he was all alone. What a fabulous read.
Stars back in. Power play time is up. Voracek comes free. Shot goes wide. 0 for 2 Dallas. Seguin, shot blocked. It's a minor miracle that neither team scored on that Stars man advantage. Holtby gloves, restarts for Heiskanen. And now ahead, Raffl banks it. Peak, pressured. Raffl's got it back. Offensive zone for the Stars. He's hit by Gavrikov. The two of them cancel in the trapezoid. Stars got 3 shots on that power play. That one hit the outside of the frame from Heiskanen.
Again.
That would be 4 on the night.
Same spot on Merzlikins. He went back in the opening period.
It bounced its way to Laine. He got caught. Faksa. And then Laine stepped into him.
He almost had his feet kicked out from him by Radek Fox. I think that had him ornery heading in there.
Icing against the Stars, and
everything is happening in the Buckeye State. Short-handed, the Blue Jackets tear up the ice. Texier opens up. He has nothing but net. Nothing but net, and pounds it off the far post in behind Holtby. On the power play, the Stars had multiple great looks. Miro Heiskanen stoned by the left pad of Merzlikins. Seguin right after that.
Here's Bean, a shot off the glove of Holtby, who reached out that left hand, but he could not squeeze it. And then Sekera, and then poked away from Fox. The Jackets in tight, they score! It fell right to Gregory Hoffman. 6th NHL game. Hoffman gets his first NHL goal, and it doubles the Jackets' lead.
Well, he's a guy who's been ascending up their line combinations. He had an assist on the Bjorkstrand goal in the first, came off of a turnover. This one, the Stars trying to play small hockey with one another. They're looking for an exit out of their own zone. They get ambushed by the Blue Jackets, and this is a quick snapshot that beats Holtby short side and has prompted a timeout from Rick Bowness. They've been sloppy. They've been sloppy mentally, and they've been sloppy with the puck, and Bones is livid. They had their opportunities on the power play, but even those came after the fact when they gave up what should have been a goal on a 2-on-1. And this is as spitty as Rick Bowness gets, and he has filled their ears with vitriol after giving up the 2-0 goal here midway through the game.
2-0 halfway through. That's not always a time that UC coaches use their timeout. It was more about what you're describing, the play, that what he's seeing, that he needs a turnaround. He's got half a game to get it, and yeah, that is an animated 30-second timeout behind the bench. So a quick whistle off the draw at center, and a moment and a night Gregory Hoffman will never forget. First NHL goal, it doubles the Columbus advantage.
The Blue Jackets, and as mad as I've seen Rick Bowness in behind the bench just moments ago, we'll see how the Stars respond from that. But they've been mentally and physically really sloppy in the game here tonight, and they've had pockets of good play again in this contest, as they have the first 5 games, but they can't string it all together.
Stars win the draw. Attack zone. Heiskanen works his way to the high slot. Wrist shot blocked. It took a stick of Nyquist with him. Corrali the other way. And bumped up where Kukin will move it down low. Stars intercept. They clear. Center ice. It's Chinakhov to Nyquist. Chip back for Chinakhov. He gets shouldered off. Hintz just took possession.
We'll see how many times the Stars win those 50-50 pucks and battles along the boards and the net front. That's the game right now. That's what they've been missing the last probably 10-15 minutes of this game.
Here is Chinnikov. Hands it back. Kukin drags, and then he forgot the puck on the wrist shot. Over to Chinnikov. His shot gets blocked by Ben.
Caught the Stars on a change.
Werenski behind the net. Rolls in. Hope he can keep it moving. Now it's Peterson.
Stars have now been outscored 7-2 in second periods this season.
You were talking about this earlier. It's always such a good period in recent memory for the Stars, and this is the latest here where it just hasn't been the case.
Well, they could have had their offense on the board here with the power play opportunity and posts and Merzlikins' excellence that we're witnessing here tonight. His rookie year, he had 5 clean sheets in an 8-game span. And he has been fabulous in this one.
Third season of NHL action for Elvis. Since coming into the league, he's got the 10th best save percentage in the NHL. From behind the net, Suter and Merzlikins made the save, hung on, and then maybe took a little exception to some love taps from Tyler Seguin, who was whacking away at it.
He's a big presence here. He's a huge personality. Fans love him, teammates love him, and he's got game. Hugs this one, a little extra shove, and it drew the ire of the opposing netminder. The spawn of Urbe, if you will. Artur Zerbe, the Latvian former Star.
Face-off controlled by the Jackets. Werenski moves it around for Robinson. He gets stapled against the near side by Suter. Jackets maintain possession, outlet feed. Eric Robinson, too strong for Texier on the wing. Foxa ties up his man, and it's Klingberg quickly pursued. You take that extra second, and Jackets jump right on you.
Yeah, they play a straight line game, and they're hustling the Stars' puck movement, forcing turnovers, turning them back. Can they sustain it? That's the question.
We are into the second half of the contest. 7 and change left in the middle frame. Jackets got the lone goal of the first. They have the only one here in the second. In between the two, they had a close call that was originally called a goal, disallowed when it appeared the puck never did cross the goal line, and that's how it was ruled. But the Stars again stuck in neutral offensively, trying to break the seal on the scoreboard. Here is Werenski. Up ahead, there's a penalty coming against Dallas. Roslovic looking for a cutting bean, could not connect there, but as Pavelski touches, a trip to the penalty box for Dallas.
Well, it was an aggressive play. The Stars trying to pinch with their defense, and out of that, Andre Sekera, the D-man who was stepping up, steps up. They click skates. They called it. He moved out of his tracks, and they got to get through this power play to keep hope alive here late in the second period. Laine's looked lethal. If you can be lethal without doing anything offensively, he's looked lethal.
He is out there on the left wing for the faceoff, tripping against Sekera, the call. Jackets control it. They immediately spread out. On the right side, it's Voracek. Started his career with Columbus, 10-year stint in Philly, and he's back here in Ohio. Laine, shot, deflected up and off the netting, out of play.
That's good work by Yanni Hakanpää. He uses that long reach, long stick to thwart the effort from Patrik Laine, who likes to lean on that twig of his. It's said to be an 87 flex, but it's long, so it whips a lot, like probably a 67. And that whip messes up netminders.
Fought for behind Holtby's net. It's dug out and moved to Werenski at the point. He'll swing it across. Voracek pressured by Raffl. Back to the point. Nice hustle, Werenski, to keep it in. Short pass, Bjorkstrand. Now Laine, a shot and square to it. Eating it up in the midsection, Holtby.
You'll give up that shot all day long if you're the Stars. Holtby's going to have that 100% of the time. See it all the way. He has to stop it and shoot it, and Holtby absorbs it. He's mad at himself, Laine, for that shot. No rebound. You can't produce a rebound when you hit the guy in the pelvis.
Patrick Laine off to a tremendous start this year. Points in each of the first 5 games. As giveaway here and shorthanded, Miro Heiskanen will race up ice 1-on-3 and force Merzlikins to fight it off with the left shoulder. Long stretch, Voracek, he's in, and a drop pass. He didn't realize Heiskanen had come all the way back.
That's Miro's head and his legs breaking that one up. He's been excellent again tonight.
Halfway through the Sekera penalty, Dallas clears it.
You watch Heiskanen show up all over the ice and the confidence that he's going to be able to get back. That's what Scotty Niedermayer did for his Hall of Fame career, and Heiskanen looks just like him right now.
Bean is shoved by Suter. Puck hops free. Columbus gets it. Nyquist top of the zone to the left. Laine faked a shot. Tried to thread it through. Too much traffic. Ben intercepts. Clears.
He's trying to force feed Laine over there. I think Heiskanen was in that shooting lane anyway, and that big bazooka kept in check.
15 seconds left on the power play for Columbus. Their second look tonight. Chinakhov is pressured by Seguin. They battle, bumped free, cleared to the line off the body of Bean. It stays in. Roslovic met by Caro, fights through it. Sillinger now gloved down Seguin, didn't clear. Out of the box is Sekera, but on the attack, the Jackets, and a shot from Sillinger. Holtby came out to make the save.
How quickly they changed the point of attack to generate that off yet another turnover by the Stars in behind their own blue line.
It was right as the penalty was expiring. For a moment, thought maybe they'd have a chance to spring Sekera. Instead, they wound up having to hold off one of the better looks. Sillinger, as the pedal still down now for Columbus. Nyquist sheds Caro, and a shot from Carlson. Rebound comes right back to him in the corner.
I think he had net if he shot it long side there. Stars need this game to stop.
Corrali behind the cage. Roslovic. Tired Stars are out there. Roslovic down into the corner for Nyquist. Loose puck, hustling after it. Caro gets there and able to get it out to center. Corrali almost stopped that from happening.
Stars with 3 defensemen on the ice because it's Sekera, a D-man, coming out of the box, and finally they're going to get themselves reset, it appears, to a proper 5-man unit.
And Pavelski. Carlson. They battle along the end boards. Dallas digs it free. It's Gurianov. Bank to Klingberg at the blue line. A shot goes wide. Rebound to Pavelski. Funneled back to the near corner. Gurianov is on it. Behind the net, Pavelski. Centering feed. Looking for Hintz. It was cut off. Corrali eats a check, but cleared to center. Touched over to Ryan Suter. He's got time and space. Outlet Gurianov. Missed Hintz. They weren't on the same page.
Yeah, that's indicative of what's been going on. They had good speed. Just lay it there at the blue line. They're in. Maybe challenge Merzlikins. Instead, they're back in behind their own net, trying to get out of their own zone.
John Klingberg over to Suter. Just about 2.5 minutes left here in the second period. It's lobbed to the corner. Radulov in on the forecheck. Over to Gavrikov. He switches directions on Peterson. Off the stick of Radulov to Kukin. And then Voracek. Heiskanen took it away to Radulov, but not backhand. He wanted Ben. Voracek gains center ice. He'll horseshoe it in. Bumped out to neutral. The Jackets turn back. Kukin from his own line. Ahead for Jenner. One-touch Laine. Gets it into the Star zone. Outlet feed, Dallas. Tyler Seguin. Drop to the corner. Raffl is on it there. Goals in 2 of his last 3 games. Played around to Sekera. The defenseman snuck to the corner. Fed it to the top of the crease. And then cleared by Columbus. Delivered right back in to Sekera. Sharp angle. Save Merzlikins. Rebound Raffl. And then off of Werenski. Clearing attempt. Held in Seguin at the blue line. In the trapezoid, Bean sheds Raffl and turns back on the forehand. He turned the puck over. Raffl gets it back, centering. Faksa, it was out of his reach. Now Seguin wins it back, and they can never get the shot on net.
It was an unnecessary mess from a Blue Jackets perspective. They had full control. Stars stayed on it, got it, but can never really settle it to get a great chance in the slot area on Merzlikins.
It was dogged work from Raffl on Bean that led to all of it.
It was like he beat him once and it was like that was too easy, so he turned back in again.
Final minute of this second period. Gloved by Klingberg, touched next by the Stars. That's a hand pass with 48 seconds to go in the middle frame. We will step aside. Jackets have added to their lead. It's 2-0 Columbus. Final minute of the middle frame.
Chevy under the hood. It is Miro Heiskanen today, age 22, the Finland native. Looked up to Nicklas Lidstrom throughout his career. He's a big Ed Sheeran guy, and his favorite pastime, paddleball. He would certainly make my first round for my pickleball draft. Razor behind you as number 2. And that, you know I had to throw in a pickleball reference there. All right, I'll be done with those, I promise.
We're up to 2.
Don't choose me. I've never played the game.
Why stop now? I think she's making a commentary on your overall athletic ability.
Well,
now.
there's no question I'd be great at it, but just haven't tried it yet.
Especially with the new shoulder. Got to get that thing on tape. We'll see. Klingberg across the blue line. Stars trying to salvage something here in the closing minutes of the second period. Heavy hit as Pavelski got rocked. And Gurianov steps in. He wants Sillinger, drops the gloves. And Sillinger, there were bodies in between. He was willing to oblige.
This came in the wake of a tantalizing little chance for John Klingberg that Merzlikins just caught up to. And then the thump on the boards with Pavelski and the scrap immediately after as Gurianov came in and away they went. Dennis is not shy to get the gloves off and go. Not his first go around. He ended up in the bottom of that thing almost immediately. We'll see what kind of penalties come out of this as the Stars try to drive a little life and energy into the game before they regroup as a squad in the room after 40 minutes, where they are stuck on 0 again on the scoreboard and struggling to find their overall team game.
Gurianov wanted Sillinger, and Werenski was nearby, and so Gurianov was kind of looking at which one he was going to have to deal with first, and now they're sorting out the penalties, and
Brad Larson is the more animated coach, which means they didn't get what they felt like they deserved out of that mosh in the corner.
Yeah, it's going to be a double minor for roughing against Sillinger and just a roughing minor against Gurianov.
To be honest, I don't really understand that, but the Stars would certainly take it. There was nothing on the hit at all, and it's an interesting way to arbite that one.
Yeah, Brad Larson down there, he's as perplexed as everybody else here, but the Stars will try to take advantage. Chinnikov serves the additional minor. As
you could have a major plot twist in this game right here in the, it would look like just, you know, elementary seconds.
Here's Heiskanen. They were looking for it. It took all of 3 seconds. Heiskanen leaned into it, and Merzlikins again.
And the Stars captain loitering a little bit. I mean, this is just Miro Heiskanen at his very best. This is the Miro Heiskanen that we witnessed for the Stars in the bubble, where he was basically a point-a-game guy and the tip of the spear for the Stars offensively.
Clearing attempt is kept in by Suter. Stars have 23 seconds to work with. They turn it over peak, and that one did slip past Heiskanen, a chance to extend. Now it's Texier shorthanded. Stood up by Suter. Time for one more rush for Dallas. Through center, it's Sagan. Hands it off left wing side. Shot by him. Save Merzlikins. Puck is loose. It was swatted at by Sagan.
Again.
And it'll go to the corner, and that's where it'll end. The horn sounds. Merzlikins is talking with the official. He thought maybe he had a beat on gloving it. Sagan swiped it away, but the Stars couldn't cash in.
Yeah, he's a little incensed, but that's still in play. He didn't have control of it, and Tyler's just trying to be aggressive. They have words with one another, separate, and head back to the rooms. The Stars are still in this game. They have yet to find their game through 40 minutes, but there's a lot of hockey left and an opportunity to cut the lead in half immediately.
They're going to carry over almost a minute and a half of power play time into the third. It's going to have to be a big third period. Another low-scoring affair, but the only 2 goals both belong to the Columbus Blue Jackets. One in the first, one in the second. 2-0 Columbus. Second intermission report is next.
Welcome into the second intermission report. The Stars on the road in Columbus. The score 2-0 in favor of the Blue Jackets after the second period. Gregory Hoffman gets his first NHL goal and doubles the score for Columbus. Dennis Gurianov and the Stars not too happy about the second period, but 20 minutes left to play at Nationwide Arena. Lauren Callender alongside Brian Ray and Brent Severin. The Stars trail by 2 guys. Scoreless on the night so far. Emotions high on the bench and on the ice, as we just saw. What do you make of the second period?
Sevy, I said I loved the first period. I don't know if a lot of us love that second period, particularly Rick Bowness after he took his time out. And right now, Dallas, they're looking for some answers, and they're looking for some offense right now. They had some issues in that middle frame.
Yeah, the Stars have been outscored 7-2 in second periods, and that's been the tough part for them so far this season. But when you look at it, it was a pretty active period for a lot of things. You know, obviously there was a fight. Voracek, an offensive hold. Stars get a power play. The Columbus Blue Jackets shorthanded, miss an open net. Puck almost crosses the line. It could have been 3 or 4-0 in that second period, but fortunately for the Stars, it wasn't. So they're still in this game. They got a minute 27 on the power play, so obviously they have an opportunity to get back in this game. They've had strong third periods of late, so hopefully they can put it together moving forward.
All right, guys, 2-0 after an Oliver Bjorkstrand goal in the first, Hoffman's goal in the second. Brian, walk us through tonight's highlights so far.
Well, Oliver Bjorkstrand, we've said his name quite a lot over the last 2 seasons. He seems to have stung the Stars, and he does so on their opening goal. First of all, you can't turn over the puck at the offensive blue line because things like that will happen. It gets turned around on you. Sevy, you also talked about Roslovic and his way to weave between the white jerseys right there, but ultimately it's a 1-0 Columbus goal.
Yeah, that's why it happens so quickly, is when you turn over the puck defensively, you're a little bit out of sorts, and trying to get back to position, you leave the neutral zone wide open, and that line again crucifies the Stars.
Bjorkstrand leading Columbus with 8 points on the year. That was his third goal. Then we get to another turnover for the Stars. This one right in their own zone off the faceoff. It's Gregory Hoffman who will cash in. As you see, the puck scored loose and right onto the blade of his stick. And quite a way to score your first career NHL goal, Sevy.
Yeah, nifty little chip up by Sekera to Faxa. But what happens there is Faxa is looking up ice. You're going to see him take a peek just for a second right there. And when you don't move your feet, that gives the opponent time to poke that away. You don't want to give that puck up right in that prime scoring area. And unfortunately for the Stars, it ends up back in the net. That line right there with Bjorkstrand and Hoffman as well, they've been very strong. They've been the ones dominating in this game. Stars are going to really have to watch that line. They seem to be generating most of the offense.
Well, Sevy, you mentioned it. It almost potentially could have been 3-0 in Columbus. Cole Sullinger's goal tiptoed the goal line. No, non-goal tiptoed that goal line. What happened there?
Well, right here, what a play in front of the net. You can just see the hard work by the Columbus Blue Jackets as they've been throughout the entire game in front of the net. But right there, Sillinger just chops it toward the net. Lindell, good defensive position. That was close, Brian.
It was wobbling end over end, and you wonder, but it's got to be out completely across the red paint. It was not, and kudos to Esa Lindell right on there to get his stick back there and get it out as quick as possible.
Yeah, and that's what the defenseman has to do. You're back there not only looking for positioning between your forward and the defenseman. You want to make sure if there's any loose change in front, you're clearing it. And of course, Lindell, always in good position, did it again.
Well, as Razor said, Esa Lindell to the rescue on that one. Thank goodness he was right there. When we return, we break down second period numbers and we look at some close opportunities for the Stars tonight. That and more coming up. Report: the Stars trail the Blue Jackets 2-0 at the end of the second period. 20 minutes to go at Nationwide Arena. in Columbus. Let's take a look at second period stats. The Stars still taking a majority of draws in the faceoff circle, but look at that, guys, out shooting the Blue Jackets 19-16 on the night. They need to make something happen to get some of those shots to go in. Guys, what are your thoughts?
Well, said it was a great first period, and the Stars obviously had their issues in the second. They nearly had their chances in period one as well, and it's tough. If a couple of these go in, Sevy, now all of a sudden you're sitting there with a 1-0 lead or a 2-1 lead, but this gave Columbus the opportunity to have their pushback in period two, and it's why they have this 2-0 stranglehold on the game right now.
Yeah, if I was 6'4" and still could skate very well, I'd be playing in League Two as well. You know, shoulda, woulda, didn't, yes, their post, but they didn't go in, and that's the way it is, right? A coach used to say that to us all the time. Do you know what I mean? And even though they were creating something, it didn't go in, but what an opportunity now moving forward to get something on this power play, cut the lead in half, and be able to move forward, and that's the key, obviously, moving forward. You can't look behind, you got to look ahead.
Merzlikins is getting some help from the post tonight, so guys, what needs to happen to take advantage of those chances and get on the board?
Well, on this, you have a tendency to really try to do it yourself. You can't do that. You got to make the puck move. The puck moves faster than people skating, so look for the guys to do that rather than trying to stick handle through people.
It feels like such a big power play for this team. As good as Merzlikins has been in this game, it feels like they need to get one in this first minute 26 to get this down to a 2-1 deficit.
All right, well, we've got one period to go in Columbus. The Stars trail the Blue Jackets 2-0. We'll see you right back here with post-game coverage on Valley Sports Southwest.
Oct.25 Casino and Resort Durant. Expansion now open. Stakes raised. By Baylor Scott and White Health. Changing healthcare for the better. And by Chevrolet. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
Stars need the final 20 to be a big 20. They trail 2-0 heading into the third. Fans, you can sign your child up today to be a member of VIX Kids, the official kids club of the Dallas Stars. Every member receives a free kids ticket, exclusive Stars swag, and more, all for just $25. Sign up at dallasstars.com/kidsclub. Welcome back. Sixth game of this NHL season, and the sixth time that Razor Miro Heiskanen has looked very good.
It's like his game is here, and a lot of his teammates' games are here or below that, and he's showcasing it again tonight. You know, just think of this. The Stars defense corps as a group only have 6 assists so far this season. He has 4 of the 6, and he's had chances to score tonight. He's hit a couple of pipes. Every time he's been on the ice, he's made something happen with the puck offensively, and that isn't even documenting his defensive acumen in the game as well. He's just a prime player for this group.
The Stars carry over 127 of the extra roughing penalty to Sillinger from the end of the second period, so an opportunity to chip away at a 2-goal deficit. They'll bring it in immediately. It's Ryan Suter to the right side, Heiskanen. Up top, Suter. Seguin, one-timer was blocked by Peak. That was from the dot where he scored on Friday on the power play, his first of the season. Seguin, and to the line, nice hold by Suter. To the right wing side, Heiskanen through the slot, chance to clear, and went off the stick of Corrali awkwardly. Fought for, just wide of the trapezoid, broken stick in the slot as it set the length of the ice.
Some guys down there of two minds when they're trying to do something with the puck and then end up doing nothing with it.
Dallas has a third of the power play left. Here's Heiskanen to the right wing side. Ben over to Heiskanen. He'll chip on the backhand for Hintz. Lost it on the wall, gets it back. Rims it to Heiskanen. Over to Seguin, quickly to Ben. Back to Heiskanen on the wall. Low for Ben. Drags it into the trapezoid for Seguin, cutting to the net. Put it on net. Merzlikins stays perfect as he's been all night, and it's clear.
Man, there was some sagacity in that setup, and Merzlikins was not buying. Kept his eyes on it, solid on the pipe, stone Seguin.
Only 8 seconds left in the power play as it's dumped in by Radulov. Robinson can't get it out of the corner. He's tapped by Radulov. 3 Stars against 2 Blue Jackets. Dallas comes away with the puck, but out of the box comes Chinikov, who was serving the extra minor. And so Dallas cannot cash in. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Around it goes. Pavelski looking for Radulov in the corner. Stars got 3 shots on that power play, 7 overall in the game while up a man, but whether it's 5-on-4 or 5-on-5, they haven't been able to pierce the armor of Columbus as they're still sitting on a goose egg. 2-0 Jackets. In the corner, Corrali. Bumped out, fed to the slot, perfectly awaiting it was Chinikov, and he'll break out the chipping wedge to center. Esa Lindell over to Klingberg. Off the boards to himself. He dances in. Tried to find a cutting Faksa off his legs. Loose puck in the slot. Goes to Glendening. It was in a sea of skates. He could never pull it for a shot.
What a mess down there at times, trying to just gather that puck in and make a play.
Stars still have it offensive zone. It's Klingberg and then taken away and a race the other direction. It's Laine off the right side. Laine backhand save by Holtby. Then in the slot, and a chance by Jenner was blocked by Glendening. He comes away limping.
How about that stop?
Bean and a shot redirected just wide. Holtby cannot afford to bend here with the Stars trailing by 2, and it's out to center.
Would have been easy for Braden Holtby to think that Laine was going to move that puck to Voracek. He didn't. I think Voracek wanted him to move it to Voracek. And a split save by Holtby to keep this game at 2-0.
Icing here against the Jackets.
It's the nature with which that chance was generated, though. Some pestering work up top by Laine and Voracek, and then Patrick Laine lost control of the puck for a second, had to get it back, stretched out, couldn't elevate, and the right pad of Holtby said no.
Pavelski behind the net, ties up with Gavrikov. Kiviranta steps in, could not thread it through to the slot. Then it goes right back between the circles. Voracek on it, angles it out, and this will be another icing here against Columbus. And now here's a message from Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant. Face-off glove side of Merzlikins. Ben against Roslovic on the draw, and Roslovic 2 pulls to get it back. Lift by Kukin at center, and Heiskanen's got to go back inside his own end.
They complete their change, and you know, whenever they've broken down, Merzlikins has been outstanding in behind them. They haven't broken down all that much.
Heiskanen weaves it back in. He'll bank it off the backboards to the left side. Ben. And Hoffman had it for a moment. Ben takes it away. Centering feed goes to Heiskanen. His shot save made, and pouncing on the rebound, Merzlikins.
It's not like the Stars have, and stop me if you've heard this before, but they're generating like quality grade A opportunities. It's coming from a work base here in the third. I mean, that's point blank. Heiskanen had to fight the puck a little bit there. There's an injury at ice level in the aftermath of the latest tantalizing bit from the man they call Elvis. Gavrikov a little shaken up as he gingerly goes back to their bench. But I mean, we've seen opportunities. We've seen pucks beat them, but not posts. Talking it over a little bit with the official. He's a gamer. He's flexible. He's competitive. And he's riding a shutout 4 minutes into the third period against the Stars.
The Jackets win the restart draw. Those broken plays like that so often turn into dangerous, potentially game-changing plays, and Merzlikins just not batting an eyelash at anything. It's fought for along the blue line, popped out to center. Suter moves it to Klingberg. Klingberg will toss it in. Klingberg's played just about 16 minutes so far in his return after missing the last 4 games.
He's looked more comfortable here in the third period with the puck.
Ben touches it low in front. What a save on Gurionov. The latest in what's been a brilliant night from Merzlikins as it's iced.
Man, this is against the grain. Split save larceny from Elvis. Radulov might have got away with one of those reaching pursuit plays in the corner to come up with the puck. And then boom, boom, touch passing. Ben Gurionov in front. Dennis has had his opportunities in the game, and that's just acrobatic, reflexive net minding to keep it at 0.
The shot attempts are even. The shots on goal favor the Stars, and the chances here early in this third period have been fantastic ones for Dallas, and they just cannot punch through. 15 left in regulation. It's still 2-0. Here's Columbus back in. Corrali from the circle in front, and scores. And after all that, it's Werenski with the slam dunk. 3-0.
Been a tough night for that line for the Stars, and this is an offensive zone faceoff that ends up with all 3 forwards chasing back into their own zone. Or 2 forwards and a defenseman, as Lindell was up on it. The defenseman's Werenski, who just slides right past Tyler Seguin and gets a dunk to make this 3-zip after all that at the other end.
Werenski gets his second goal, 5th point of the season. 20-goal scorer a couple years ago. He missed the last month of last season due to injury. And with the mass exodus that has departed Columbus from their coach to some of their standout players and fan favorites, Werenski, they paid him a lot of money to make sure he was going to stick around for a while, sign the extension in July. It's deflected up into the Blue Jackets bench.
Well, that really does feel like a pin to the balloon in this third period here, as Werenski is given his netminder some distance on the scoreboard, and we talked about it off the top tonight. I mean, they need some centers here. They drafted 2 in the first round, fill in around the Zach Werenskis of the world. One is in the game here tonight, Cole Sillinger. The other is Kent Johnson, who they took at number 5. He's at Michigan with a squad that should win the NCAA title this year. So it's coming. And they have played hard, well, and been backstopped by brilliance.
Kukin to Texier, high slot, wrist shot, save made by Holtby. Klingberg will carry it out to center ice, through center, across the blue line. Peterson goes down for Klingberg, and now Gurionov. So many close calls in this hockey game. Lifted, and Kukin racing after it. Holtby stayed put and then used the poke check. And a heavy hit as Klingberg crunched Kukin behind the net. And interference is the call. The referee right there. Klingberg's going to argue it, but he's going to skate off. Klingberg to the box. We head to break. It's been 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. This one from Werenski. 3-0 Columbus.
It's his way of keeping Matisse's spirit alive with him, and that this season is in honor of him. He also named his son, that was born a month and a half after the tragic accident, after Matisse. And so it's fitting that he's been lights out tonight, guys.
Just unfathomable that it happened. The 2 Latvians, best friends. Merzlikins has stated he wants to win a Vezina for his late friend. Plays like this, he's gonna.
He has been phenomenal and not shy about how he's playing with that heartbreak. The number 80 is present just about everywhere. Elvis wore it on opening night in his honor. Blue Jackets are on the power play. It is their 3rd of the night. Voracek moves it around. Laine goes to Jenner. Voracek in front. Holtby with a save. 1:19 left in John Klingberg's penalty for interference.
For the most part, the Stars' penalty killing has been able to keep this number 1 unit for the Blue Jackets kind of off balance in the game when they've been up a man. And it's a near miracle that Laine has not put a puck in the net. You could say the same thing the other way for both Gurianov and Heiskanen.
Werenski has the latest tally, moves it to Voracek. Goes up high for Werenski. Back for Voracek, right circle. Could not get a pass through. It's intercepted and cleared by Carroll.
Sometimes plays are forced. That was a forced pass.
Poked in on Merzlikins, and he'll keep the play moving into the second half of this power play for Columbus. Werenski chips it to the left. 3 of the 5 goals Columbus had scored in the last 3 games came on the power play. They, like the Stars, struggling to score entering this one, especially at 5-on-5. You pointed that out earlier, and that's been the case tonight. All 3 of their goals have come even strength. Short-handed here, Jamie Benn doing good work. Down to 25 left on this Columbus man advantage.
That worked there earlier for Radek Faksa. Up ice killing up. Their penalty killing has been good. Their puck management is not.
Glendening, and it's taken away and cleared by Hakanpää. That'll just about do it. Last year, the Stars PK was basically untouchable against Columbus. Columbus went just 1 for 14 in the 8-game season set. They didn't get on the job often. They didn't convert when they did. They haven't needed it tonight. Stars PKs through another one. And Dallas has 11 and change. Try and cut into a 3-goal deficit. Esa Lindell ahead for Kiviranta. He'll chip it down into the left wing side. Gavrikov tied up there with Pavelski. Robinson and Kiviranta nearby. Stars get to it, funnel it low. Robinson spins away with possession. Banks it for Corrali. He'll touch it out to neutral ice. Over to Pavelski. Pass tipped off Kiviranta, and then nearly given away by Merzlikins, and Columbus will escape, clear it out.
Need one here, like almost immediately, to break the force field and then see what you can do after that. It kind of echo effect, getting rid of the shutout bid.
When you have a team that's kind of gripping it, trying to score only 10 goals in 5 games, and then you have a game like this, how tough is it as Roslovic moves it to the slot to kind of go through it, and how much more of an elephant in the rink does it become?
Well, as the saying goes, you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. And that's they need more togethering, which is easy to say and sometimes difficult to get in play. And there's frustration that builds, right? They're not scoring a lot. Guys are paid to score. And even when they get chances in this one tonight, they can't get it past the guy at the end of the ring.
Glendening, offensive zone, leaves for Gurianov. Sharp angle chance, turned aside Merzlikins. Then back in front off the stick of Gurianov. Racing from the point, Suter keeps it alive. Working on Jenner, he gave him a shot to the face, and he was trying to shield him off. I don't think it was intentional, but he got him up high. And that's going to be a penalty every single time. So Suter to the box, and the Jackets will go up a man. They are up 3 goals. In the first, it was Bjorkstrand. In the second, Hoffman. Here in the third, Werenski. 3-0 for the home side here in the third.
Stars was kind of a junky spinning backhand. He has 9 shot attempts in the game already here tonight. He's had some good looks at Braden Holtby. Missed by a little bit, but has yet to find the back net. Best save of the night for Braden on that mini breakaway on the backhand.
High sticking against Suter. 9:34 left in the third period. It's 3-0 Columbus. It's pretty amazing when you look at Laine's career numbers against the Stars. With 1 goal in 8 games last season, and he still is over a point per game in his career against Dallas.
Some big outings with those boys up in Winnipeg. You'd hear that chance.
Werenski right off the bar. They've had their share of iron too, Columbus. Laine reaches and he cannot keep it in. Laine weaving back in. He will wrist it around. Bjorkstrand bumps off a check. Been a 2-point game for him. Now Hakanpää in the corner, kicked by Werenski. First on the scene is Lindell. They'll keep it moving for Ben, who can clear.
Stars have to be a little bit sniffy with their penalty killing, you'd think, here as well, with under 9 minutes to go and down by 3.
Bjorkstrand for Jenner. 3 power play goals on the season as he darts down the right side. Sekera cut off the centering feed. It's wrapped back around. Bjorkstrand into the right circle. Hands it for Voracek. Upstairs Werenski. To the left, Laine. Wrist shot. Blocked, and it goes to the corner. Jackets on it there. Jake Voracek. Pestered by Sekera to Werenski. Laterally across the blue line. Hands back for Voracek. Wrist shot. Fought off by Holtby. It squirts over to the left wing dot. Now Werenski. Half a minute to go on the power play. A one-timer from Laine, and Holtby was ready for it.
You'll give that one up.
And Werenski could not hold the zone. Jackets have to touch up. They do and quickly re-enter. Laine ran right into Sekera. Because of what a sniper Patrick Laine is, people might forget he's 6'5" also. Not a physical player, but that's a big frame. Dropped off by Bean. And now Nyquist through center. Stars get through it. And their PK has been perfect as it's deflected up and out of play.
It's been the best part of their overall game here tonight in Columbus. Came close to getting perforated. Werenski has that terrific little wrister. Can find lanes past shin pads. A lot like John Klingberg does on the Stars power play from the middle of the ice. And that was powder coated off the pipe to the right of Braden Holtby. He already has one in the game. The previous one was a little easier and a lot closer to the net.
Face-off will be to Holtby's blocker side. Sillinger gets kicked out of it, and Pavelski wins it against Chinakhov in relief. Klingberg. Outlet feed for Kiviranta. Chinakhov back out to center, and Sillinger will swipe it ahead. Yoel Kiviranta. The Suter then gets it back. Brings it across the blue line. Racing after it was Pavelski, poke check Merzlikins, and then Bean intercepts the centering feed. It's out to neutral ice. Hintz to Suter. Under 7 to play now, regulation time. 3-0 Columbus. Denis Gurianov opened this game with some terrific scoring chances back early in the first. Stars have had their chances really throughout the night. It's been a steady diet of Elvis Merzlikins whenever they've had one. Here is Ben. He's got help. Fed the slot. Heiskanen tried to go back to him. Now Lindell, a wrister, fought off by the glove of Merzlikins and trickles back behind the end line. Heiskanen, little stutter step at the point. And then a pass for Gurianov. Turnaround shot hit Corrali. Gurianov keeps it in. Ben puts it on net, no problem. Merzlikins covers it there.
Well, they had him in the egg beater there, and a broken stick and a messy exit by the Blue Jackets, and they come close again, but they have not been able to capitalize on Columbus's puck errors like the Blue Jackets have on the Stars issues throughout the game here tonight. Heiskanen's been stopped in the high slot. He's hit pipes in the high slot. So he went with the, if you're going to play me, I'll feed somebody else. And they couldn't get it to go. Short bench in this third period for Rick Bowness, trying to find some offense.
Suter shot into the slot and it hits traffic. Bowness shortened his bench on Friday night against LA as well. And that was a game where the Stars needed to come back, find some offense, eventually outlast the Kings in a thrilling overtime session. And here the mountain is larger. Under 6 minutes to go, and all 3 goals belong to Columbus. John Klingberg carries across the line for Caro with a shot, and save made. Rebound, trying to get him from behind the end line, and Merzlikins ready for that one as well. Steers that to the corner. The lift to center ice. Klingberg spied it like he was playing free safety. Stars in across the line. In front, a redirection from Hintz. Just poked it off target. Set up from Pavelski. Again, Kiviranta, a rolling puck cut through a corner of the crease. Stars have some pressure on here. Love something to show for it. Pad save Merzlikins. Hustle. Kiviranta keeps it in. Handoff behind the net for Hintz. Hintz thread it right back through the slot. Couldn't find a connection. Good work by Sekera. Moved it to Kiviranta. Hintz was camped out. The pass hit the outside of the frame and clear.
The urgency and the desperation of the time winding down, feeding some of that work in the offensive zone. And the Blue Jackets spitting pucks back at them, but the clock is the enemy right now as much as the score.
It's a tough enemy too, as the puck deflects up and into the benches, out of play. It leaves just 4:21 left in regulation.
And a desperate club down 3-0. Baylor, Scott and White Health, game diagnosis in this one tonight in Columbus, Ohio. Bjorkstrand started the night offensively for the Blue Jackets off of a turnover. He and Roslovic walk in. He froze Holtby, made it 1-0. Whether Braden was anticipating something else, but after that, the Stars tested the pipe. Plural at the other end. Heiskanen wires one off on the power play. A deflection off a pipe. Gurianov in the slot grazes a post. Can't find Twine. Second period, brief delay on the way to 2-0 Jackets. Esa Lindell pulls one off the line. It was reviewed. Never went completely over the goal line, but yeah, there's the dance. No White, they said. Stays 1-0. But quickly after that, another turnover. Stars trying to come out of their own zone, just too slow and sloppy. Hoffman jumps on it, makes it a 2-0 hockey game. Been a rough night for Radek Fox, who's had a wonderful start to the season. That goal prompted a bonus timeout and a gasket blown on its charges. They came out with a little better effort after that, but they have not been able to solve Elvis. And he hasn't left the building, unfortunately. Chances from every which way on him. And he's been like a kitty following a pen light throughout the game tonight. Allows them to stay ahead 2-0. Ultimately, they make it 3-0 on another shift where they chase back to their own net. Werenski, the business end of all of that, 3-0. And Merzlikins, told you about his rookie year when he had those 5 clean sheets in a very short order. And he is perfect on everything he's faced so far tonight, with a little help from the red pipes in behind him.
Face up at center ice. Ben on the draw with Jenner. It's Ben, Radulov, Gurianov, Lindell, and Heiskanen, the 5-man unit.
Got to think Holtby's got to go pretty quick here if they...
Yeah, after the lengthy break between whistles, there he goes. Holtby was going to go and now heads back. A shot at the empty net goes wide. Holtby was kind of caught in no man's land because right when he darted out, the puck was turned over. It all results in an icing.
They'll make the argument from Columbus's side that the netminder was leaving his crease on that it shouldn't be icing, but they're not going to win that argument. He goes to the bench now.
The 3:58 left in the third. It is certainly now or never time for the Stars. Pavelski joins. Klingberg replaces Lindell. Those are the half dozen who are out. Ben wins the draw. Back to Heiskanen. Klingberg angles it to Pavelski. Left circle. Short game of catch with Heiskanen. Pavelski's got it near the dot. He's pressured. Lost possession. Gets it back. Bumped to Ben. He'll move it to Radulov. Rolled off his stick. And Line A able to clear it.
A little delay to just softly send it down. No icing.
So the Jackets, who had iced the puck, can now change and get the personnel that they want out there. Klingberg through center. Across the blue line. And Gavrikov in the corner for Voracek. Off the body of Radulov. 6-on-5 attack for Dallas. Trailing 3-0. Heiskanen top of the zone to Klingberg. Back for Heiskanen. Pavelski in the slot, a chance from Gurianov, goes wide on the one-timer. Klingberg, pass low for Radulov. Chip over to Ben, got over him. And now fought for on the half boards. Pops free, Stars control it. Now it's Heiskanen to Ben, right circle. Over to Heiskanen, tried to go back to Ben, got there off the stick of Voracek. Jamie Benwright dot a shot in front. Merzlikins with the save, puck still loose. Banked to the point, held in. Heiskanen to Klingberg. His pass deflected, eventually intercepted. Laine takes a second, fires wide of the empty net. He's been out there a long time, and it's icing against Columbus.
Just watching him down there, I figured that if he's going to get one against the Stars again and tonight, it would probably be without a netminder in there, and he came within a couple of feet of doing just that. But you're right. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are bent over, including their netminder right now, trying to get some energy back in. They're delaying as much as they can.
4 of the 5 Jackets on the ice have been out there for 2 minutes. Stars win the draw. Suter, a shot just wide on the far side, and it'll rattle up and out of play, and Columbus can get that breather.
Came close with that. Speaking of guys who have that quick zipper wrister from distance, unfortunately, it goes out of play, allows the Blue Jackets to reset with 2:25 to go in regulation and up 3-0.
Hands on the draw against Jenner. Blocker side of Merzlikins. Dallas wins it. Right side, one-timer wide. Over to Seguin, and he scores! Tyler Seguin got the big rebound off the backboards. The Stars are on the board. 2:19 to play. It's 3-1 Columbus.
You win draws and good things can happen, and Hintz did the first part of that. Boy, these end boards, we talked about it early. It is like one of those rubber super balls off, and nobody shoots a rolling puck better than Tyler Seguin. He can one-time him, no celebration on it, down still by 2, but hope is alive in the Buckeye state with that.
The Stars spoil the shutout from Merzlikins and now try and pull off a magic trick here as Holtby's back between the pipes. It won't be for long. Heiskanen starts his way out. He'll bank it off the boards, get there himself. There goes Holtby, centering feed, a chance. Seguin was bidding for another. Not sure it ever made its way on net. Heiskanen taken away. Texier, he'll cross the blue line, an empty net. He'll fire it in and deliver the exclamation point.
They haven't muffled the cannon here, that's for sure. Stars with some possession in the attacking zone, but everybody does that now. As soon as they see a player, whether it be on a power play or 6-on-5 like this, with his eyes toward the glass, they attack. And they attack Heiskanen on the boards. Texier gets the empty netter.
So the teams wind up trading goals with Holtby on the bench. A 6-on-5 for Seguin, the empty net tally for Texier. Gurianov is in, his shot blocked by the skates of Peak. It's back to a 3-goal difference. The final 90 seconds of this one appears to be cosmetic at this point. Behind the net is Gavrikov. He will chip it into space. Gurianov gets there first. Lindell is shot and it hits skates, goes to the sidewall. The Blue Jackets opening up this season very different from the Stars in terms of home-road splits. 5 of their first 6 games at home, they hit the road this weekend in New York. The Stars are playing on the road for the 5th time in 6 games. They'll head back home for a pair of consecutive games Wednesday and Friday at American Airlines Center. Around it goes. Seguin, who's got the Lone Stars tally, pops up into the Dallas bench and out of play.
And goals in back-to-back games. I mean, there are many positives that you pluck out of situations like this, and that's one of them. Tyler coming back from hip surgery. They just can't get it fully collected together, and maybe part of that is the kid Robertson, Blake Como being out of the lineup, and you know that you can get one guy come back into your lineup and reset everything from time to time. They're two kind of different players, but they would certainly help right now for a team that is struggling mightily to put the puck in the opposition's net.
The official designation on both is still day to day. Bowness said maybe Friday, maybe Wednesday. But tonight it was the Columbus Blue Jackets that protect home ice. A huge night for Elvis. 4-1 Jackets beat the Stars.
Pause for dramatic effect there. The thing that can win in this league is goaltending and work ethic. And they had tons of work ethic within their game. Hard on the puck, earned their opportunities offensively, cashed in on more of them. Merzlikins was the main man, though, here tonight. He's beloved by his teammates and by everybody in this city, and for good reason. He's a talented guy, and maybe the difference in this one here tonight.
He makes 31 saves on 32 shots, improves to 4-0, and betters his stellar numbers entering the game. Stars head back home. They'll take on Vegas on Wednesday night. For Daryl Ray, Michelle McMahon, our entire crew, we say so long from Columbus. I'm Josh Bogerot. Final score, Jackets 4, Stars 1. Postgame is next.